Hello, welcome to a Casual Conversation podcast. My name is Keegan. I will be the host. This is the first ever episode of a Casual Conversation. Thank you for listening. I really thank you just for taking time out of your day to come and listen to some guy talk about whatever he wants, which is basically the topic, whatever I want. What I enjoy doing is I enjoy soccer, I enjoy basketball, I enjoy cooking, hip-hop, rap. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft recently, so I might talk about some of that. YouTube, what's been going on. So that's just kind of the topic. It's kind of whatever I want. I did play, sports is like a big thing in my life. I did play a lot of different sports. I played soccer, basketball, football for 1 year, tennis, track and cross country. I did those. I wanted to play every sport, so I wanted to do wrestling. I wanted to do golf. They did give us golf, but I didn't really fit into the crowd of wrestling, and wrestling just seems like a brutal sport. Like the coaches are always, you have to fit a certain weight. It's just hard to do. Like there's a ton of people who said, like, during Thanksgiving, a lot of my friends, or some of my friends who wrestled, they said like during Thanksgiving that they couldn't eat anything. They had just water, who will make themselves throw up before a match because they just were a little too heavy. They were like a pound heavy, which is crazy to me. I have a hard time committing to stuff. Like, if I'm not good, then I probably won't do it. Which is, I did quit a lot of sports, and I heard that once you quit one time, it becomes a lot easier to quit the second time, which is really true. I quit tennis in the middle of the season, quit football at the end of the season, basketball in the middle like 3 times. So it was just hard to do. A little bit myself, other than sports and what I enjoy. My name is Keegan. I'm a freshman in college. I have a part-time job. I work at a YMCA directly with kids. I'm hoping to get better at this. I want to get the audio better, the video better. I want to have guests on and do segments, different improv. I was a theater kid. I did a lot of... I did some speech and debate my senior year, because the teacher who just started my senior year required us to go to a couple of speech tournaments, and then I ended up going to, I don't even remember how many, but I went to a lot because I just liked it that much. It was just so much fun. I qualified for regionals for an HI, a monologue, and a DD, which HI is humorous interpretation, which is just you go up there and you try to be funny. And a DD is a dramatic duet. So me and this girl, we went up there, we killed it. It was at the last tournament that you could possibly qualify for. So there was only 3 people competing, so we kind of got a win, an easy win. But we were going to workshop it, and then the corona hit. So that took away regionals. We couldn't do regionals anymore. It took away the last season of soccer, my senior year. That really sucked, because I felt like I was improving. I went to trainings, and I tried to make a lot of improvement. I got voted as a all-state player, the goalie. So that was like really cool, because I had always assumed that I wasn't very good because, I think everyone really thinks that. Some people just know they're really good, but I think everyone kind of deep down is like, am I really that good? So I always had those thoughts, and then just becoming an all-state player, that was really cool. So, I think a lot about sports is it's kind of easy to pick up some sports are easy. Some sports are really hard to pick up. Soccer, there's a lot of guys that you kind of started one year. They learned how to kick, they learned how to dribble, they learned how to pass, but they kind of didn't have the instincts, which I think that's why I quit basketball a lot, because I was a post player. I was probably the power forward on the C team. We had a top 10 that went to every single game. Then we had a rotation of A team, B team, and C team. And so there was 10 people in the top 10, obviously. And then 5 guys in A, 5 guys in B, and then the rest in C. So there was probably like 7 or 8 of us in the C team. And so we barely went to any games. And I barely played. I think I was the power forward because I was a little bit taller. But they just called it post player. But the thing is, the coach, I never was really taught the fundamentals, so that's probably why I didn't enjoy it, because I didn't know how to play, and it took me a long time to figure out how to play, and that's why I enjoy it a lot more now, because I know how to play. I think an archetype for myself, I would want to be a 3-and-D guy. I like getting blocks. I think my favorite all-time player is Big Ben Wallace. He was a phenomenal defender, slowed down, like he was 6'9", and he slowed down a lot of the best centers, and that was like 2000. That was the greatest era, maybe the greatest era for centers. That was like starting on because it was like Shaq. I think that was really the biggest guy, because centers really started slowing down because Patrick Ewing was getting old. Hakeem Olajuwon was getting old. All these really great centers. Because Shaq, it was the Lakers Shaq, so he was really he was the best center of that time. And Big Ben was just slowing them all down. He got on Shaq, he was slowing him down, getting the big blocks in the finals. So, and then as obviously Steph has changed the game, and now everyone is shooting. Everyone tries to shoot, and I try. I think of myself as a decent shooter. There were some times in practices or like in warm-ups where I would just drain 2 threes back to back, but they would hit off the backboard hard and like ugly. I didn't have a shot down, so I think I'm good, but it's hard to tell sometimes. Sorry, I'm gonna stay hydrated. It's a very dehydrated season right now. I mean, people are drinking water, but I don't know. As a goalie, it's tough sometimes, because either you're sitting back there. It's not really like a casual, like, I think the same as a quarterback. Quarterback and goalie are I kind of I wouldn't say the same, but sometimes it's either your D line is great, they are like stopping, or is it your O line? I don't know. I was a fifth string receiver when I played football, so that was not very fun for me. But either your D line is killing it, stopping everyone, and as a quarterback you can get the pass off, or the O line, the other opposite team's line, is either blowing by, too good. You're looking like Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl trying to throw it over your shoulder over 10 guys. So as a goalie, it's kind of the same. It's either their forwards are good, they're pushing the pace, their midfielders are up too, your defense can't stop them, and you're having to make all these crazy blocks and saves, or your offense is just up there killing it, and you're just back there kind of being like, can someone just blow by them and take a shot on me? So that's kind of what you kind of have to deal with that sometimes, depending on how good your players are and how good their players are. Some of the biggest inspirations for me, I would say, for YouTube and podcasting in general, is the Tiny Meat Gang, Cody and Noel. They are the first podcast that I really started like actually listening to. They are great, just two guys just talking and making jokes, just having fun. Two comedians. I would say Danny Gonzalez and Drew Gooden are also some big inspirations. Drew and his writing style, how I tend to see that my writing style is video essays. I'll sit down to try to write a script for a video, and I just find myself writing it in a video essay form. And I want to do commentary as well. So that is just something that I want to do. I find myself, because I want to be, I like being on camera. It's a little bit vain, but I enjoy it. Obviously, I was a theater kid. I want the spotlight on me. I went off, sis. So obviously, I wanted it to be about me, but sometimes you just can't do that. So that's also in a little bit of the more general celebrities. I would say John Mulaney. He was the first comedian that I started listening to on iHeartRadio.com back in 7th grade in remedial math. Shout out to my remedial math boys out there. We would do these assignments, and I would just listen to comedians on my headphones. And he was the first comedian I listened to because I really enjoyed him, because he and me, or him and I, we kind of have the same style of writing. Or he tells jokes in a story format, and I try to do the same thing. But I have a joke that I say that my writing style is like John Mulaney, but with ADHD, because I go off on tangents, I forget details, I can't remember the stories a lot, so I can't like tell a good joke. So I'm trying to figure that out. Tell a joke in a story, find a premise. Also, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. I listen to a lot of rap. He is probably one of my favorite rappers. I like him because he was a actor, a comedian, a rapper. He did a lot, and he kind of stopped being a rapper, and then he came out with This Is America, and kind of just came back as Childish Gambino. But he didn't stop acting. He was in The Martian, which is a movie that I really like. That was a good movie. Community, he was so good in that. He kind of his character was kind of the same as like his stand-up special in Weirdo. Because sometimes he'd be the guy where he's kind of like, you can just say that. And sometimes because obviously he was just Troy. Yeah, he was Troy. And he was the football guy. And he had his character traits. He'd try to be the man, which is kind of like what he tried to do in Weirdo. He would have some of these freak out moments, but he was also trying to bring himself up. So I really enjoyed him. I watched Weirdo probably like 3 times. I think that's probably my favorite stand-up special, but I haven't watched many. I watched Gabriel Iglesias' 1 or 2. I think I watched 2 of his. Kevin Hart's. Kevin Hart, he, as an actor, it's weird. I think he just plays himself, which is what a lot of these actor comedians have trouble with. Is as a comedian, you go up there and you're kind of giving a performance as well. So, sorry, this is like people moving stuff around. If you hear like this scraping noises, people moving stuff. But he would put on a performance, and movies would cast him as himself. So I don't really like his acting style, but I think he's a funny dude. He does a lot of he does the little man comedy. He probably does it a little too much. Because there's Peter Dinklage, and obviously he does the little man comedy, but it's like I think it's just done better. Where Kevin Hart, he's just a short guy. I don't know. I don't know. It's maybe something to think about later. But yeah, so I don't know. This is a weird tangent I went on about just acting and comedian. I wanted to be a comedian. I also want to be an actor. Those are just 2 things that I really wanted to do when I was young. They were They were just like, you can do whatever you want. You can make lots of money doing it. You could have your own hours, which is, it's kind of like double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, I get to do my own hours, but I also just get to do my own hours. I don't have to work today if I don't want to. Just one thing that a lot of people find themselves falling into. So yeah, what I want to have, the long-term goal for this podcast is to bring guests on, maybe introduce a co-host at some point, because doing podcasts by yourself is hard. Because I listen to Sad Boys with Jarvis Johnson and Jarvis and Jordan. They go off each other very well, have guests on a lot. Sometimes they just do it by themselves. Curtis Connor, I don't know how he does it by himself. Oh my goodness. It is like he just talks. He just feels natural just talking. Cody and Noel, they riff off each other so well that sometimes they don't even need guests. Sometimes it feels like the guest is a detriment to them. I don't know. I'm kind of just going off the cuff here with my analogies and my hot takes. Yeah, so I want to do different segments. I want to do improv games. So I want to do that. And what I really like is the animation of different, how they have the Rhett and Link animated. They do a lot like a game, Vanoss Gaming, how they take their audio clips and animate it, because it just, in animation you can do whatever you want, just like in video games. But in video games you're kind of limited to the world. In animation you can be anywhere. You could, in like a video game, Vanoss, they're playing in GTA, but in the animation they're on Mars or something. It's just like you're not stuck to a setting or even like a plot of the game. It's just whatever they talk about. So that's something I really like watching, is the animation of audio clips. So that's kind of, I'm gonna wrap this up. That's kind of a little bit about myself. Yeah, stay woke, stay hydrated, and wear your dang